How do we find our inner voice? I used to live in this constant state of internal conflict. People always talk about, having the angel on your shoulder and the devil on the other side. Well, for me, it was like a whole bunch of devils and like voices that were just constantly negatively telling me this, that, whatnot. And I would have this little voice that I could barely hear at times. And I was just constantly making these bad decisions over and over again, not having any direction where to go, just feeling like I totally failed in my ability to make the right decisions. All those different voices, it was just a bunch of competing egos that were tied to different parts of me and different parts of my life at different ages, from traumas, societal conditioning, distractions, fears of the future and the unknown. Your inner voice, it's actually speaking to you, but because of trauma and things that have caused us to not trust ourselves because of bad decisions we made, we've learned to shut that inner voice and silence it for our own protection. But unfortunately, it kind of backfires and takes us in the opposite direction. So what I learned to do to listen to my inner voice and to trust it is very practical. Once you start to do this, it will make your life easier. Who is your inner voice? Your true inner voice, your higher self, the voice of God, your intuition. It's the first voice that talks to you, the first voice. Whenever you're going about your day, there's a constant conversation that is going on in your head. Some people are actually hearing it as a conversation in their head. Other people are seeing pictures. However that happens through you, there's a constant narrative that's going on that's kind of like telling you what to do, this or that. And a lot of times we get at these crossroads where it's like, well, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. What I'm telling you is that it is the first voice that speaks. Here's an example. Let's just say I was cooking in the kitchen and I was drinking a glass of water while I was cooking. I would put that glass near the edge of the counter. And I would hear the voice in my head say, move that glass back. And immediately I would shoot the voice down. Like, no, it's good. And then, like clockwork, I would end up knocking that glass over. The glass would spill all over. Like, it would break. It would just be a huge mess. And I would repeatedly do this to myself. Over and over, there'd be all these little mishaps that were just like happening all the time. And I began to realize I knew that this was going to happen. I literally would hear the voice in my head telling me what I was supposed to do, and I would immediately shut it down. Like, no, I'm good. And I was never good. So I began to notice that pattern, and I was like, wait a second. That's like my inner voice. That's my higher self. That's God telling me what to do, and I'm literally not trusting it. But all the evidence has shown that that is the voice to trust. So I began to become conscious and make myself aware when I would hear that internal voice, recognize that I would shut it down, but then I'd be like, wait a second, no, I'm going to listen to that voice. I am going to move that glass back. It's like all of these really insignificant, practical things. Something like you should put those clothes away. Don't leave that stuff in your car, bring it in. Take this route instead of this route on your way to work. It's usually like you're doing something and the voice comes in saying, no, you should do this. And you're going to notice yourself saying, nah, I'm good. Start to recognize that and start listening to that voice. Because not only are you going to teach yourself to hear that voice, you're going to teach yourself to trust that voice, because it's going to keep you safe. It's going to keep you from all of these little mishaps that are just super annoying. I mean, I haven't spilled my drink in months.